Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond Expo 2022 Sustainability Summit. I'm Alan Xie, Deloitte China Sustainability and Climate Leader, and the moderator of this panel discussion. First of all, I would like to thank Beyond Expo for creating this platform for open cross-sector discussion. Today, we will talk about an interesting possibility. Can we remove plastics, something used in almost everything around us, from our lives? This question gives us a fresh perspective to understand the new trends, opportunities, and the challenges in building a circular economy. We have seen accelerated actions taken by Chinese companies to facilitate plastics phase out. Today, we are delighted to have three panelists here to share valuable insights, solutions, and practice. They are Ms. KouWeiWei Kou, Sustainability Director at Unilever, Ms. Tong Yin Sheng, Senior Vice President at Huhtamaki, Mr. Yuanbin Bai, Co-founder and Vice President at Blufa. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's get right into our first question. This question is for all of our panelists. Plastics are widely used in our daily lives. China's current plastics control policies focus on volume reduction, substitution, and recycling. Considering these facts, is it possible to remove plastics from our daily lives? What are the main challenges and the bottlenecks in removing plastics? Can you share your view on this? So I think lady first.
Would like to me to start, or I don't know if there's any order aligned. Alan, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think you can start. Just feel free to share your views. Yeah.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me for attending this discussion. I work for Unilever as the Sustainability Director for North Asia. As I think a lot of people know, Unilever is a big MSG company, and a lot of products actually use plastics, particularly for the packaging. I think for plastics, it's it's widely used in our daily life, and I think it's right now it's a very valuable material for us to distribute our products. Currently, I think it's crucial to start to talk.
Maybe what I'll start when Ms. Kou tries to get in. So I'm Tong Yin Sheng. Yeah, I'm the Senior Vice President for Huhtamaki Asia Pacific region. So like we were saying that plastic is we can't depart too much from plastics. It's a way of life, and that's where Huhtamaki comes in, and we are really looking at part of the global provider for sustainable packaging for solutions for consumer around the world. And our role is around food packaging. Our innovative products focus primarily on protecting on-the-go and on-the-shelf food and beverage. This ensures the hygiene and safety and helps prevent food waste. Sustainable food packaging plays a very important role in ensuring food supply and food security. This boosts the resilience of food systems globally. In the environment, there is a lot of waste, and through good and sustainable food packaging, we are able to avoid waste of food for 5 to 10 times as compared to the cost of really the environment cost of packaging as a whole. So only 5% of the carbon emission in the food system are attributed to food packaging in general. So we know that the purpose of food plastic and as well as plastic control is to prevent environmental pollution. And since food packaging is essential to the environment perspective, the main challenges that we face is really around, number one, making the positive choice in selecting the material for fit of purpose in terms of packaging, and alternatives for plastics, which will be able to look for solutions that's equal or even better than the current plastic solution. And as well as another focus is increasing this material recyclability especially at the end of life stage, which require proper recycling technology and as well as sufficient infrastructure. These are very critical. Fiber can also and will play a very important role. 70% of our product portfolio is made of fiber, either virgin or recycled fiber. For virgin fiber, it's used primarily with food contact, and that's where we ensure that the food safety and hygiene regulations are being met. Where for recycled fiber, typically we use it for egg trays, for example, where the shell itself is already a natural barrier to prevent direct food contact. So forests are a natural resource for us, and Huhtamäki wants to advance the sustainability and as well as the management of all forest type. Every part of the tree is being used, and therefore Huhtamäki is committed to zero deforestation and no use of illegal or controversial food fiber sources. So that's really critical. So our goal is 100% of our wood fiber that we source is either recycled or certified sustainable source. And in 2021, 96% of our raw fiber material are certified PEFC or FSC or SFI certified. So these are all important because we are able to trace to the sustainable managed forest as a whole. But we talk about managing recyclable product. That is important. However, what it wants to do is to prove and as well as further look at actual recycling. The world's resources are very limited, and as a global packaging solution provider, we're committed in transiting from a linear to a circular economy, and that's where the products are kept and materials are kept in circulation and in a closed loop. And we have developed a design guide for us to ensure that our innovation and new product development follows the pathway and as well as achieving circularity. And this is where our commitment comes from.
Thank you. It seems that Huhtamäki has incorporated strategy of the renewable and the recyclable materials products, right? So, Mr. Bai, so can you share some from Blufa about your strategy or materials related to the plastic reduction or removal?
Okay, thanks for having me here. And I'm Yuanbin, the Vice President and the co-founder at Blufa. And I'm also the chairman of ESG committee of Blufa. I have over 10 years experience in petrochemical and the polymer industry before joining Blufa. About this topic, I'd like to say technically, it's possible to remove plastic from our daily life. Yet removing plastics isn't easy. There are both opportunities and challenges. For opportunities, on one hand, countries worldwide are actively introducing policies to limit or restrict some conventional plastics. France, UK, US, Japan, and so on have put up their plastic pact and corresponding roadmap. On the other hand, public awareness of traditional plastic environmental issue is increasingly year by year. Over 500 organizations have made their commitment that by 2025, plastic packaging will be 100% reusable, recyclable, or compostable. For challenges, alternative solutions to conventional plastic are at a high price. I remember early years, our product faced the promotion difficulties due to the high price. When we introduced our product, the customers were delighted. However, when we gave our quotation, the customer just turned and left. Just kidding. In recent years, market attitudes have shifted, and the demand is more precise and urgent. More and more multinational companies have started cooperation with us. Another challenge is that the capacity are pretty small compared to traditional plastics. Currently, bioplastics still represent less than 1% of the more than 367 million tons of plastic produced annually. It takes time for world plastic capacity to grow. That's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bai from Bluefar, and also thank you, Ms. Zheng's comments from Huhtamaki. We see that Mr. Kou has been back, and so would you continue your comments about the possibility or the challenges, bottlenecks in removing plastics from our daily lives?
Yes, sir. Sorry about the technical problem. That happens all the time, particularly after COVID when we'll have all these virtual meetings. I was saying plastics, it's a very valuable material. Has a very vital place in our daily life and also in our economy, particularly in our business as well. As an MSCG company, we use plastics a lot. It's crucial for the safe and efficient distribution of our products to our consumers. Actually, plastics has a lower carbon footprint than many other alternative materials, but it has no place in the environment. So as a company, we recognize this and we accept the responsibility as a particularly a leading company in MFCG industry and also in sustainability to reduce plastic, and eventually, hopefully, we can solve this problem together by working together with partners. And we think it is crucial to commit it to this eliminating plastic and also to work together to drive a radical shift from a linear, make and disposal model towards a more circular economy model to keep materials in use for longer. We actually have a set of commitments and goals under our sustainability strategy to reuse, reduce, or various targets. Which I will explain later. In terms of the challenges, I think from various perspectives, there are different challenges. For example, on the policy side, taking example of operation here in China. We're actually trying to work together with government to put PCR usage as one of the industry standard. However, right now, currently, there's no national level standard requiring companies to use the PCR in their products. This is one of the challenges on the policy side, and on the industry side, it's the PCR is a lot more expensive than virgin plastic. So it's difficult to push companies to use PCR, particularly given a current economic situation. On the consumer side, plastic has been around us for ages, and there are a lot of consumer education. However, we did some research together with partners, between say and do for consumers, there's also a gap. When you interview consumers on the street, they would definitely tell you, I like to do more about the environment. I'd like to choose more sustainable products. But when they're really purchasing products, other factors are often more considered than their environment impacts. So there are a lot of bottlenecks regarding plastic. I think when we try to drive this issue, we should have a more systematic thinking instead of focusing one aspect of this issue. In overall, I think there are a lot we can do regarding plastic. We need to work together with the partners to have a more systematic approach to address this issue.
Okay, thank you. Actually, today we are discussing the sorry, there's some echo. Okay, so today we are going to talk about removing plastics from our lives. And actually, our panelists are all from companies closely related to this interesting topic. So can you give us more specific overview of your company's innovative products, materials, technologies, or actions related to the plastic removal. So I think, can we start with Huhtamaki?
Sure, no problem at all. Thank you very much, Alan. So from a Huhtamaki standpoint, from an innovation, fiber is definitely an area that we're looking at. Fiber has been used in packaging for decades. Today, Huhtamaki is able to tap full potential by applying high precision technology expertise to take this renewable material to the next level. This particular innovation is combined with high-level food-grade barrier that produce what we call smooth molded fiber, a sustainable packaging that offers superior functionality and as well as keeps food safe, maintains its quality, and is able to eliminate the need of aluminium, resulting in the aluminium zero solution. To be very frank, and then we have KouWeiWei here as well, Ms. Ko from Unilever. We actually make a ready meal tray for Unilever, ice cream tubs for Côte d'Or, Sundae ice cream, and cups and lids for McDonald's. And that's where Huhtamaki has developed a right range of novel award-winning products in order to be used at large scale by the world's favorite brands. This particular uptake of industry giants shows the success of the smooth molded fiber packaging that offers consumer a more sustainable packaging experience while minimizing their impact on the planet. The fit for use is very, very important. So our fresh tray is for ready meals, and it is ovenable and microwavable. And the barrier is able to withstand these temperatures. And this is where the oxygen barrier that we have helps to keep the shelf life in store, and as well as be able to be microwaved and as well as ovenable. So these are some of the technologies we are looking at. And by using these fiber-based products, we are able to improve and as well as look at recyclability. And this is also another focus that we are looking at from an advantage standpoint. In order to meet this growing demand for plastic-free alternatives, Huhtamaki announced a site in Elf, Germany, to switch its focus from plastic to smooth molded fiber. And that's where we are able to have a significant first of such large-scale production capability in Europe. Now, when it comes to plastic, we are also focusing on how can we create new innovation in this. And now we have next generation mono material that helps to minimize the number of layers that's being used. All right. Therefore, this helps to limit the use of problematic plastics, and it helps with recycling as well. So overall, we are trying to really look at how we can achieve using less than 10% of polymer coating by decreasing the number of polymers that's used. One of the key innovation that we have, and I'm very, very happy to share with you, is the push tab blister lid itself. And we actually won the Beyond Impact Award. And then this actually award acknowledges the company addressing global issues such as carbon emission, other national health related or eco protection. These are some of the things that we're looking at. And definitely we are very, very happy to be able to receive this particular award because we actually indeed help to move the industry to the next level. Now, we are also committed in terms of recycling our products, right? And we have joined forces with Stora Enso to come up with a new paper cup recycling initiative called the Cup Collective. And this is the first kind in Europe, and where we aim at recycle and recapture by putting in collection bins in restaurants, cafe, hotel, office buildings, and transport, so that the aim is for us to collect the so-called used paper cups, and then we can actually look into recycling as a whole in general. And then Huhtamaki is also looking at piloting recycling projects in China with SPAR and a service provider for recycling resource management. So this is a 6-month pilot aimed at recycling for recyclable paper across the entire value chain. And this project itself is not only an innovative trial for us to achieve our sustainability goal and as our strategy, is also an experimental benchmark that contributes to China's transformation to a low carbon society.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cheng. So I think BlueFi is a leading innovator in synthetic biology-based materials, something I think the public might have little knowledge of or access to. So, Mr. Bai, would you tell us how these biomaterials can be applied to different aspects of our daily lives and how they can facilitate products reduction or removal?
Okay, great question. I'd like to introduce from my company then to our product. First of all, I'd like to introduce BlueFar this word. This word originated from a species of microorganism, which has ultra high productivity to produce a biopolymer named PHA. So we use this word to represent our company's name as well as our PHA product. So if you use one sentence to describe our product, I'd like to say BlueFar is a 100% bio-based and marine degradable biopolymer. It has 4 key features. First, it's a natural polymer produced by microorganism. The production method is different. It makes the product different, not only different from the traditional plastic, and it different from PLA, the other kind of biopolymer. It's an only biopolymer produced via fermentation process rather than a petrochemical process. Second, we use sustainable biomass as the feedstock to produce our BlueFar product. This biomass can be plant or starch, even carbon dioxide. We have a unique technology named biohybrid. That means we can use carbon dioxide and the traditional biomass as the feedstock in the meanwhile. I just mentioned the second key feature. May I continue? Or?
Yeah, no problem. You can continue.
Okay. Third, BlueFar PHA has remarkable biodegradability in various environments, even natural environments and artificial environments, including marine, freshwater, soil, industrial compost, home compost, landfill, anaerobic digestion, different kinds of environments. And fourth, PHA has versatile properties for multiple uses. By adjusting molecular structures, we can influence its comprehensive performance. So we have developed different grades of BlueFar PHA to apply for rigid packaging, soft packaging, coated paper, fibers, and coffee capsule, and 3D filaments, and cosmetic additives, and other kinds of applications. So I think PHA is similar to traditional plastic in its use, but it can also offer environmental value, which conventional plastic cannot. Okay, that's a brief introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bai. It seems PHA is quite magical material to save the world, right? And so I think Unilever is a well-known multinational consumer goods company that has made tremendous efforts to reduce plastics waste and help create a circular economy. So the next question is to Ms. Kou. So please share with us what are Unilever's plastics reduction goals and the specific actions, and what kind of effort you have taken. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, before I start, I'm very happy to hear what Mr. Pat just mentioned. There are potentially a lot of alternative to replace plastic. I think we can definitely talk later to see if there are any opportunities to work together. And regarding Unilever, as I just mentioned, we have a very strong commitment to reduce even eliminate plastic at the end of the day. So in our compass, in our sustainability strategy, what do we call the compass for Unilever? We have a very hardcore and even harsh targets and commitments on plastic. There's mainly 4 targets. The first one is to regarding virgin plastic. So we have this target to reduce virgin plastic by 50% by 2025, of which 100,000 tons will come from an absolute reduction. And so under the virgin plastic reduction, what we're doing is to we drive investment in innovation in reuse business models. And like so-called innate products, alternative materials, concentration, particularly in our laundry product line. I think right now these days you see often we have concentrated washing liquids. Instead of a 2-liter big bottles, you have the 50 milligrams ones, but with the same washing effects and lightweighting and also recycled like non-virgin plastic. And we also remain the only major MFCG company to commit an absolute plastic reduction on virgin plastic usage. So that's on virgin plastic. The second one is to help collect and process more plastic packaging than what we sell. So basically that means we need to have external partner for us to collect plastics, and and also in our process, we need to use that the same amount of plastic of the total volume of plastic usage of that year, which will cost us a lot actually, because collecting in China is very expensive. So that requires a lot of, for example, improvement in waste management in many of the countries that we operate. For example, to invest and partner up to improve waste management infrastructure like collecting, sorting, and processing. Right now, we're actually looking for a partner here in China to work on the collection model because we don't have collection capacity ourselves. And at the same time, we also came up with this as a creative model and idea in university campus. We allocated now nearly 200 sets of AI-powered recycling machines at Tmall convenience stores in campus. This recycling machine is what we call the both media for green and green for media, because it's it's a recycling machine itself that helps college students to recycle plastic bottles. And at the same time, it has this big screen, which will, introduce more sustainable products to students. Not just the product stuff, but why it is green, why it is sustainable. So there's a lot of education engagement as well. And in the mini program, building with this recycling machines, students could also play games, and that's help them to improve their knowledge about the environment. They can also, if they get the rinses right, and if they collect bottle, they can also gain credits or points, which they can use to exchange coupons of sustainable products. So that's it's closed loop way for particularly for college students to engage them to promote sustainable products. And at the same time, for collecting plastic bottles, in this year alone, we have already collected more than 120,000 plastic bottles, all from college students. So that's on collecting. And The third target is 100% of our plastic packaging will be reusable, recyclable, and compostable. The fourth target is 20% of our plastic packaging will come from PCR, post-consumer recycled plastics. As mentioned earlier on, PCR is on average 20 to 30% more expensive than virgin plastic. That actually put a lot of on cost for us every year across all our product line, particularly for our home care, personal care product line, which relatively speaking, they use more plastics. In China, for brands like Omo, Lux, Dove, Clear, these products across the range, there are more than 20% of PCR already used in the products. So there's a wide range of targets, the 4 targets built in our Compass strategy, and the deadline is all 2025. So apart from all these, we're also working with partners to drive the system change. I think on plastic alone, we work together with the EMF, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, with here in China, we work together with the China Circular Economy Association. A lot of these NGOs and industrial associations to drive system change. That's some of the work we do here.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Kou. It's quite an interesting sharing that you did a lot, not only to utilize the new technology, new materials, but also to integrate all of the different efforts together and to leverage the ecosystem, the community to achieve the target, right? So I think the last but not least question is that, China has recently issued a series of policies to strengthen plastics pollution governance and tighten control on plastics use and production. So will China continuously tighten plastics control or ban in the future? So can every one of you share your expectations on the policy trend, and if you have any suggestions, just feel free to share. So can we get back to Huhtamaki, Ms. Sheng?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, for us in Huhtamaki, China has been, Huhtamaki has been in China for 30 years. We have 4 factories, one in Shanghai, Guangzhou, Tianjin, and Xuzhou, and a distribution center in Hong Kong, and about 800 employees. China's committing to achieving a carbon emission peak in 2030 and carbon neutrality in 2060 is something which Huhtamaki is very aligned with overall as well. And I think this is very critical because for China's emphasis on high quality and low carbon development, this is a key because in China, the market is 1.4 billion population and provides a huge opportunity for industry players, including Huhtamaki, for us to play in this space, right? I believe that no one in the organization can address the changes of sustainability alone, and this is very critical. And in our view, this is where collaboration across the value chain makes a real difference. It is important, very, very much so, that solutions are not in a one-size-fits-all, but appropriate to local condition and scalability. So we aim to find the best solution in terms of best possible value chain partner to work with in order for us to create a tangible impact. I think last year, Huhtamaki actually commissioned the VTT, a Finland technical research center, to produce white paper examining the current and near future recycling system for plastic and fiber packaging. VTT also said that alliance between brand owners, recycling, sorting technology developers, and waste management companies are fundamental, very much to what Ms. Kou has mentioned in terms of developing a recycling solution. That systemic change in food packaging recycle is only possible through public-private partnership to drive this innovation. So in some ways, if you look at it, life cycle assessment provide us with a fact-based information on the environmental impact on our product throughout the entire life cycle. The results are shared with our customers, our relevant stakeholders, to help drive better informed decision making these decisions a lot easier. And then given the environment changes our society is facing and policymakers are facing, we need to consider the full gamut, the role, the benefits of renewable, sustainable source, paper-based packaging in food system as a whole. So this is very critical. And then also the other area that we've been working with is Rambo, a leading global engineering design and consultancy company. With this meta-analysis of 26 previous science studies conclude that additional and specific burdens of reusable tableware when used for takeaway food and beverage, it makes it far less sustainable than paper-based single-use tableware. So this is the reason why it is important for us to consider not just the product itself, but also the energy and water that's used for sanitation together with the impacts on the take-back transport, and as well as the breakage rates associated with takeaway system. So these are some of the things that we've been looking at, and with 100 years of history in a strong Nordic heritage, Huhtamäki Group is headquartered in Espoo, Finland. We rank #1 in international comparison of sustainable development, and definitely really willing to leverage our expertise on sustainable food packaging and our Finland heritage to promote exchange between China and Finland. And the Think Circle is a forum that is initiated by Huhtamäki to look at exchange as well as open discussions and engaging all sorts of challenges and opportunities that's out there around sustainability and circularity. And as a matter of fact, we have launched the first China session of Think Circle in Shanghai today, actually September 23. And this is where Huhtamäki is the first Finnish company that has committed to be part of the first China Carbon Neutral Expo that is in December 2022. So this is hosted by the Council for Promotion of International Trade Shanghai.
Thank you. So how about Mr. Bai, your view or suggestions for the future policies, plans?
Okay, I think the policy, the restrictions of China on plastics will be more strict. In fact, the biodegradable plastic industry is similar to the photovoltaic industry. They are both effective solutions to some important environmental issues. At earlier times, the market demand was low with high potential market size. Then high production cost hampered the promotion of the degradable material. Now the policies issued by the central government have not yet mentioned the fiscal support for biodegradable plastics. And there is greater space for more political support. I expect that within 5 years, the state will give more fiscal support to the biodegradable plastic industry, like issue fiscal subsidy policies to stimulate companies, or introducing monetary and credit policies to finance biodegradable plastic industries. And about our company, our first PHA facilities with 5 kilotons capacity per year is under construction currently, and expected to be completed by the end of this year. Upon full operation, we can reduce around nearly 10,000 tons of petroleum-based carbon dioxide per year. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bai. So, so Ms. Kou, so how's your view and the suggestions? I think Unilever is the bridge of the end consumer and all of the new materials, new products. What's your view?
Of course, we're very happy to see the Chinese government is increasing its actions on plastics reduction and promoting circular economy. I think I got some numbers regarding the virgin plastic usage here in China. I think in 2020, virgin plastic manufactured volume accounts for 30% globally. And in the meantime, China is also the biggest manufacturer on PCR. So I think actually China had this advantage actually to, you know, being a global leader to address this issue. Actually, you know, right now the New York City is having the Climate Week and also the UNGA. Unilever's global leader are actually here this week in New York for the Climate Week. They just announced that we're going to put more efforts to drive the UN Treaty on Plastic Pollution. You know, the UN Treaty on Plastic Pollution is a governmental collaboration by the UN Environment Assembly to address plastic reduction. So our view on the our position on the role we played is to mobilizing a business voice in supporting of this outcome. You know, with a fragmented regulatory environment, we a meaningful UN treaty can create an enabling environment to help a company like Unilever to achieve our commitments in a more competitive context. The treaty would galvanize coordinated government action similar to the you know, Paris Agreement and the Montreal Protocol. So we're really welcoming more actions on you know, from the government side. At the same time, as a company, as you just mentioned, you know, we're kind of like the bridge connecting governments, industry players, and consumer. So as a leading company in the industry ourselves, we will definitely play a more ambitious role in addressing these issues. For example, by using our the advantage we have as a business, as a private sector player. For example, in the US, we set up a closed loop fund to invest in infrastructure like collecting, like processing, like sorting. I've got some numbers about this fund as well. Just give me a second. So these fund will support our waste reduction goal and PCR commitment. We invested $50 million USD on collecting and processing. At least half of our USA plastic packaging footprint. As a result, by 2025, our our North American operation will be collecting more than plastic than it sells. So we'll also have similar models scale up or duplicated in other areas in you know, globally. Also provide like the other example I just mentioned with the consumer engagement here in China on the recycling machine, which is a good example. We work together with partners like Ant Forest, owned by Alipay, which is the biggest mobile payments app here in China, together with the Tmall Compass team. So with this recycling machine, and of course we have other plastic reduction program working with the other big retailers like JD, like Gafou here in China, the RT Mart as well. So we'll continue to work in these areas of being this, you know, great and one of the key players in the industry to further reduce plastics.
Thank you. Time flies fast. I think. Thank you everyone for the amazing, thought-provoking discussion. We are seeing a blue ocean in circular economy ahead of us. I'm sure today's key takeaways will help us tap into more market opportunities and dive into the ocean with sustainable technologies and solutions and bring us the better future. Thank you.